Are you doing poetry anymore? You did a lot of
No, I
spoken
had a
word.
very, I really want to release another poetry book, but I had such a bad time in poetry world.
What does that mean?
Well, work backwards. I think my book came out in 2004. It was called Blinking with Fists. It was with Farrar, Straus and Giroux, which is a very august, well-respected publishing firm out of New York.
Bougie.
Thank you. So, okay, good. And, I'm meeting people, and the book comes out, and it was a top 20 New York Times bestseller list, was the #1 poetry book of 2004. I think that was the year. Never got one invitation to any poetry festival, never got an invitation to a school to come teach them about how I became a writer. They just completely turned their backs on me and acted like I was some weird interloper. Very, very, and by the way, when you take on the poetry world, you get like these screeds written about you, how dareth he,
But isn't it like that even in music? Like if you cross genres, isn't there
Not like this. There's a lot of motivated, bitter people in poetry that sort of seem to come out of the woodwork because I deign to waltz through their world. I mean, literally, I was on a Cleveland radio station on a Sunday morning to get publicity about my book. And I'm sitting there while the guys do, hey, Live 104, we'll be right back with Billy Corgan about his poetry book. And I'm looking down, it's the Cleveland Plain Dealer. And there's an article about me, about my poetry book.
Right.
So in a younger age, I'm stupid enough to look at the article, and it was a poetry professor from Cleveland University saying, he's not a poet, he's a lyricist. You figure that, can I cuss on your podcast? It's
fucking yeah.
Like, what the fuck is the difference between lyrics and poetry and just dribble drabble?
I was just going to say, music is poetry to music.
It got so dumb, and I was just like, oh, fuck all you people. So I walked away from poetry.
But he's a professor,
world.
He's a teacher. The old saying, those who can't teach. You know that.
Yeah, and I still remember when I was in 3rd grade and the teacher told me I had no artistic talent and I better stick to something else.
Is that true?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's great to, she's a teacher. And but you would never discourage.
Never.
Right? Never. But I can't imagine that somebody in 3rd grade is discouraging.
I mean, the quote was, you have no artistic talent. None.
And here you are at 56.
57. Bill Burr's 56.
Bill, I always get you and Bill mixed up. Still remembering what your 3rd grade teacher said, which is incredibly sad for
me. It's all good, but I just think that life is easier in reverse, right? For me it worked out, but there's maybe somebody sitting there that it didn't work out and they're still aggrieved by it.